Hi boxing fans, this is Ben here. Happy New Year to you all. This is my preview video of Shane Mosley versus Berto. It's for a fight coming up the end of January in the United States. It's for the WBC and WBA Welterweight championships. So it's a unification clash between two top fighters, and the winner, in my opinion, will be in pole position to declare themselves amongst the best, if not the best, in the welterweight division. In fact, I'll go a step further. I'll say that Shane Mosley is the best welterweight in the division. And you have all this talk about Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao facing each other. Well, why don't they get in the ring with Shane Mosley? Manny Pacquiao didn't want to fight him. We know Floyd Mayweather didn't want to fight him, at least not at the moment. And so Shane Mosley has had to go elsewhere. He's had to go after Berto. Credit to Berto for stepping up to the challenge. He is a young, impressive fighter who also competed in the 2004, I believe it was, the 2004 Olympics. Now, my pick in this fight is Shane Mosley, and could possibly be by knockout in the later rounds. My reasoning for that is the following. I'm just going to go through each fighter briefly. Shane Mosley, as we know, is a multi-weight world champion. He was a champion at lightweight, and in fact in all of his defences, either 8 or 9 defences, he knocked out every single one of his opponents. He went straight to welterweight. He skipped the light welterweight division, and he became a champion at that division. He then went to light middleweight, where he became a world champion, and now he's back at welterweight, where he recently reclaimed his crown against Antonio Margarita. Mosley, I believe sometimes it's overlooked just how hard Mosley punches. He has 39 knockouts in 45 fights, I believe. I'm just going to shamelessly have a look at boxrec.com. Yeah, 39 knockouts in 46 wins. So it just gives you some idea how hard Shane Mosley punches. He knocked out Antonio Margarita, who previous to that had never been knocked out and hadn't been on the deck for about 10 years or so. He knocked out Ricardo Mayorga. Mayorga was giving him a good fight, but in the last round Mosley pulled it out of the bag and got a spectacular knockout. He stopped Fernando Vargas in their first fight, and in their second fight he knocked him out spectacularly. Those are some of his recent fights. The thing about Sugar Shane Mosley is he can knock you out with either hand. He knocked out, like I said, Vargas and Mayorga with left hands, and he finished Margarito off with right hands, although they were interspersed with left hands as well. So Shane Mosley, for me, just look at the level of competition he's faced. Let's talk about the guys he's lost to. He lost to Vernon Forrest twice, Winky Wright twice, and Miguel Cotto. Forrest, in their first fight, absolutely destroyed him. Forrest, unfortunately passed away this year. He was a great fighter, and he showed that against Mosley, particularly in the first fight. It's the only fight in which Sugar Shane Mosley has been down in. It was in the second round. I think he went down twice actually in that round, and he was badly hurt. But he showed courage, to continue on. Excuse me. Against Winky Wright, the first fight he was clearly outclassed. The second fight was a bit closer. Could have been a draw. I just gave it to Winky. But the Cotto fight I thought was controversial. I scored that a draw. Some people even consider that a Mosley victory. That was a very, very high level of fight. Incidentally, it was when Cotto was at his absolute best. Now, the type of fighters that Mosley has trouble with are fighters with a jab and who can box him and can just annoy him with that jab or guys who were bigger than him. I know Cotto wasn't necessarily much bigger, but certainly Winky and Vernon were. Andre Berto, let's talk about him. Very fast hands, like Shane Mosley. I think he might even be a bit faster actually. What strikes me about him, and it's one of the reasons why I think this fight might not be as exciting as it could be. I think it'll be exciting in bursts, because the two guys are explosive. But Berto tends to hold a lot. If you watch his last fight that he had with Juan Urango, he was constantly holding, and I found it puzzling because he was winning that fight easily, and he was clearly a better fighter than Urango. Berto has a lot of knockouts. I'm just going to shamelessly look at BoxRec again. Now, he has 19 knockouts in 25 wins. He's undefeated. If you look at his last few fights, since he stepped up the competition, he won all 3 by unanimous decision against Stevie Forbes, Collazo and Urango. The Collazo fight, highly controversial. A lot of people believed he lost that fight. He looked hurt in that fight a couple of times as well, and Collazo is not known as a big puncher. Now, these guys do have 2 common opponents. That's Collazo, who Mosley beat with ease, and David Estrada, and Berto actually knocked him out and Mosley didn't, but he got the win. So I'm not a fan of triangle theories, but at the same time it is interesting to look at the fights and see what happened. Now, so like I said, going back to my prediction for this fight, I think it's going to be a knockout for Shane Mosley. I just think Berto is a little bit too inexperienced. He also suffered a heavy knockdown against Rivera a few fights ago. That was in 2007. I've seen a clip of that knockdown. It's quite heavy. I think it depends a lot on the referee. Will he let Berto hold if Berto continues that policy? If he doesn't, then Berto could get a point deduction. He could find himself, having to chase the fight. If the referee allows him to hold, he could seriously frustrate Mosley, and we could go to a decision. But both guys are explosive. They have similar styles in some ways. It's been said that Berto is like Mosley when Mosley was younger. Mosley doesn't have the foot speed that he had when he fought in the lightweight division or even against De La Hoya, but his hand speed is still there, and I think his big right hands will just be too much in the end for Andre Berto. Okay then, so hope you enjoy the fight. Leave me some comments on what you think is going to happen, whether you agree with me or not. And if you're in the UK, fantastic news, it's on Sky Sports. It'll be live. I think Sky Sports 1 or 2. So that's great news, and of course on HBO in the United States. So Happy New Year guys, and let's hope for a great fight and a great year of boxing. See you later.